Okay.
Hi, Manak.
Hi, Node.
I'm excited to be here.
Me too.
Hi, everyone.
Me too. And we definitely have not taken 75 minutes playing around with the computer, the mics, and the camera. We have not taken that much time.
We definitely didn't.
Yeah.
This was like a seamless process.
Yes.
Yeah. We basically, it was like coming into an already set up studio.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what comes out now.
Yeah. I'm sitting with this kind of these thoughts of, I don't know exactly what I want to say, but I have this story in my head of what we had talked about wanting to talk about today.
Mm-hmm. And the way I feel currently is I remember what our intention is, but I feel so disconnected from this moment that it seems like I need to pull myself back into right now. It's because I don't believe that I'm ready.
Oof. Manak, hearing you say that, I felt pulled into this moment.
I'm so happy to hear that because that helps me as well. It helps me to know what effect me sharing that had on you.
Ooh. I feel a softness in me and this settling of my system. Like, there's no way to do this wrong.
That brings a smile on my face.
Yeah. And this is kind of what we talked about wanting to discuss today, which is revealing your experience.
Yes. And I would love for you to distinguish between revealing your experience and what people generally think as revealing themselves or their inner world.
Yeah, totally. So revealing your experience is a core practice in authentic relating and circling. It's in any embodied relational practice where we're invited to show up as more as a more authentic or whole version of ourselves, right? Drop the social mask. And it's curious. I have this sense that there's a story that people have that revealing myself means something very specific, that it means I'm going to reveal some dark secret, or I'm going to reveal something that leaves me feeling very vulnerable. Yeah. I see your smile and
I'm smiling because I often enter into these AR practices thinking to myself, unless I haven't revealed a dark secret of mine, I haven't done it right.
Ooh. And so when I hear you say that, I get curious, what is that like to name?
Comforting. Comforting because I want you to know, and I want the audience or the viewer to know who I am at this moment. So it feels very comforting because I'm not pretending to be anyone. There's no game, there's no strategy. I'm not thinking about what you're thinking or what they're thinking. And that's why it's just relaxing through my body.
Mm. What's coming up for me is a relief at just how easy this is to explain with such a beautiful example
Yeah.
of you revealing that that's what's going on for you right now. You had this comfort and this kind of settling in yourself that you can come with whatever's happening right now in this moment.
And when I hear that, one, I feel relieved that you've received it, that you're with me here and with my experience. And I also feel excited of the possibility of where this goes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where this goes. I didn't plan to say this. There's no angle here.
Yeah.
So it is also exciting and fresh.
Yeah, it's like right here in the moment. Like I'm revealing what is right here. And sometimes what's right here is I don't have anything to say. My mind is blank. And I feel uncomfortable because I want to say something that is going to be, smart. I want people to look at me and see somebody who is intelligent and a master of, facilitation. Oftentimes the more we sit with a reveal, deeper and deeper context can arise. But a reveal can be as simple as, I feel really disconnected from the group right now, and I really don't know what to say.
And this reminds me of somebody doing that in the last in one of our last AR meetings.
Yeah.
And how that pulled the entire group into the moment and into the circle.
And it's amazing, right? Like I don't know about you, but I was surprised at how impactful that was.
Me too. It changed the whole experience for me.
Yeah.
Before that, I was somewhere else in my thoughts, thinking, should I be saying this or should I be saying that? Should I be revealing all these dark secrets about me?
Yeah.
And then he said that, and then I was like, whoa, I'm here now.
Yeah. And the reveal was simply, I don't know what to say right now. And it was so alive. It was so real as to exactly what that person was experiencing in that moment that it just pulled me right into their world.
And it surprises me even now that it's that simple.
It's that simple. Yeah. And so here's a question. You just mentioned the thinking about all of the deep secrets and like, what am I going to say and all of that. And what's it like to reveal that that's what the thinking is?
What's it like to reveal that I'm thinking those things?
Yeah, so you're not revealing the content, you're revealing the process that is happening right now.
I feel more connected to myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I can feel myself.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it is so surprising and so fulfilling in the moment.
Mm-hmm. In this moment, I notice my kind of administrative part of myself online and kind of thinking about how this conversation, needs to go.
Mm-hmm. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't need to go anywhere.
Doesn't need to go anywhere.
Yeah. And
Right.
that's our thinking mind trying to perfect something.
Absolutely.
It's trying to contain the moment and fix the moment.
Yeah. And so what is this moment for you listening to this right now?
I wish they could talk back right now.
Oh, I was so thinking that exact same thing. I was like, I really felt that, like, oh, I just want to hear a voice come out of the computer right now. And I have this story that there might be some people who are totally confused about what we're talking about. Or they're kind of frustrated and they're like, yeah, have thoughts and opinions about this, right? And I as I'm saying that, I can sense my like inner jester like coming up, and I'm like, what would it be like to just reveal that? I'm super confused at what you're saying. Like, I don't get this. And when I say that and kind of try that on, like coming from another person, I feel a release. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Why do you feel a release?
I feel a release because it's something that I have a story about that would maybe generally be unsaid, but is very real for someone. And so when I try it on, like, oh yeah, that would feel really nice to hear in this kind of container.
I also have a story about the viewer. And the story that I have is that they have questions.
Yeah.
And the question sounds like a resistance to me.
Ooh.
And I understand I'm projecting now.
Oh yeah.
And I will go into that
Let's
projection.
just project all onto the
Yeah,
viewer
let me just
right
project
now.
my shadow onto the viewer.
I love it. Let's do it.
So what I'm hearing as a viewer from you is that my present moment experience is more important than my story. And I'm wondering if you have something to say about that.
Oh, I have so many things to say about that. When I hear you say that, the first thing that arises for me is that my present moment experience is all that I can really know. My story is a fantasy. It's a fiction in my mind. And what I mean by that is that it's only happening in my mind. And it's happening either in the past or in the future. And it's not an experiential reality. It's not Manak's knee underneath my fingers, right? It's not the cup in my hand right now. It's not the warmth in my belly. It's not the tension in my shoulders and the breath and the release. It's happening in my mind. It's a story, which means that it's not happening right now. And so it's not a matter of it being important, more important or less important in the sense of whether it's valuable or not. That's not the question. The question is what's real? What's real to me right now, and what's informing this moment?
So I understand that part where the story is sort of tied to the past and the future, and not so much to the present. But stories can be real, right? So a story that I'm not making enough money and I can't pay the bills for the end of the month, that is a real story.
Ooh. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do you want to push into that?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. So context around this, you know my financial situation. So I'm not like a financial guru by any stretch of the imagination who has like this, mindset program around money and has a bank account of, $1 million or anything. Like money and finances are, way a struggle for me. And so that story of I don't have enough money and at the end of the month, I might not pay the bills is absolutely 100% a story that in my own life, I could accept, and it tracks well with my experience. Okay. And let's dive into it and see how it's story and how it's maybe not as valuable as my own experience.
I would love to hear this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is like, what does enough even mean? Like, what's enough?
That is a subjective thing.
Totally.
And for somebody, enough could be I can make rent.
Yep.
For somebody, enough could be I can make rent plus enjoy a meal outside.
Yep.
But for somebody, enough could mean I want to go on a vacation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so enough depends on that person's definition.
Yeah. And so already with this story of I don't have enough money, we see that there's a highly subjective element to this, that it's not a factual reality that we're talking about. Okay. Now, but what's more real, okay, is I feel stressed about money. Okay. I feel 1,000 pounds on my shoulders that the amount of money I'm making does not allow me to do the things that I want to do. Right? I feel that right now. I want finances that I don't have. And I'm suffering in that. Right? Okay. Not a story. That's present moment experience. Okay. Now, that's an interesting place to start because there are all kinds of options and choices that arise out of that experience, right? And questions. Well, how could I make more money? Right? Are there ways for me to make more money? Right?
So what I'm hearing you say is that you're not invalidating the story.
No.
The story exists.
The story exists.
But the story has a present moment emotional impact.
Yes.
And you're focusing on the present moment emotional impact.
Yes.
Of that story.
Yes.
And you're saying that
yes.
that focusing on that puts us in a place of choice.
I think it puts us more in a place of choice rather than a pre-decided scenario.
Could you say a bit more about that?
If I say I don't have enough money, already I'm putting myself into a limitation of what enough means, right? And I'm affirming this scenario that I'm not making enough money. But like I asked, what does that actually mean? Well, it actually means that, or what's more real for me is that I'm stressed about money, is that I would like to have more money.
I would like to take this example and just tighten it up
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So that I want to get to the heart of the distinction between the story and the present moment experience.
Before we do that, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When I say I don't make enough money, I don't have enough money, versus I feel stressed about money. I feel like 1,000 pounds is on my shoulders and I really just don't know what to do. Where do you feel me more?
The latter.
Yeah. Yeah. When I say that I'm not making enough money, how do you feel me? Like, what happens for you? What's the impact of that type of story on you?
I feel it in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel more connected with you. I feel more connected to myself. Because it feels like I'm now having the same experience as you.
Mm. Yeah.
That's the initial impact.
Yeah, cool.
That it has on me. And I can see all the advantages in a relational setting.
Yes.
Of expressing your present moment experience.
Yes.
But the resistance I'm having to it, that I'm projecting onto the audience member, who maybe is way smarter than me,
well, or they've already turned this off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. They're like way past. They're like super frustrated with this.
Is how does this solve my problems?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So because what I'm afraid of is if I focus too much on the present moment emotional experience, I'm going away from the problem. It almost feels like an escape. Because at the end of the day, the problem is I can't make rent. That's the problem. But now if I go into, I feel stressed about not making rent, how is this helping me make rent?
Yes, absolutely. And there are certain, it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? There are certain factors in life that we need to account for before we have the luxury at looking at higher level domains in life, right? So having enough money to pay the rent and buy food and things like that absolutely is required, right? In order to have the time and the space necessary for my nervous system to relax enough and settle into these kinds of questions. And so the idea is that I'm not a problem. Right? I'm not a problem that needs to be fixed. Okay? Because so often these stories have some kind of connection with our identity. Right? So this story, I don't have enough money. On the surface, when we talk about them right here, the inclination and that resistance is to be like, oh yeah, well, but I mean, that's useful, like, because that is a problem in life that needs to be solved. However, most of the time, these types of stories are not so superficial. they're very deeply connected to our sense of self-worth, our sense of value, our self-esteem, the stories that we have about other people and what's possible in life and things like that. Does that track?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I say this is a problem to be solved, oftentimes what I mean by that is I'm a problem that needs to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's where that story becomes not very beneficial, right? And it's way more beneficial, way more helpful to be in more of a relational posture to that situation, to what am I experiencing? How do I need to be seen in this circumstance, seen in this moment, and given permission to have that experience? Right?
Hearing all that, I would like to phrase it my own way,
Mm-hmm.
and see if this is accurate. What I hear from you is that, and now I'm looking at it strictly from a utility perspective. You're not going to solve the problem at the level of the story.
Definitely
The story is what created the problem.
I mean, maybe it could be another. Yeah, I mean, choices and behaviors can also create problems, but thinking it's a problem might be the issue.
Okay.
Right. I mean, life is life. Not having enough money or not having money now, that could all change. I'm currently in a scenario where I haven't made a lot of money. It's been very stressful for me, and trying to get a practice going in a new city and kind of moving around a lot, and then having a really emotionally volatile life over the last I don't know, handful of years has been very difficult for me in my financial stability. And I'm seeing some opportunities open up for me because of kind of internal processes that I've made that have kind of opened up my ability to see things that I couldn't see, options that I couldn't see before. And my financial situation might change drastically within the next month or two. And I look at that and I acknowledge that absolutely, like, I didn't have as much money as I wanted. I might have more money in the future. Neither scenario is good. Neither scenario is a problem inherently. It's just life. Life changes.
This sounds very Zen.
It's very Zen, very non-dual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to connect with spiritual themes and that type of orientation when we really kind of dive into these questions, because so much of it comes down to seeing how my ego structure wants to control various areas of my life. It wants to control how I see myself, how other people see me, my identity, that whole social mask that we've talked about. But it also wants to control over external circumstances too. And and it does that in part by creating these stories, these rules, these conditions on our life. I could never do that, or I always do this.
And bringing things back to the present moment.
Yeah.
And revealing who you are.
Yeah.
Is letting go of all that control.
Well, in a way, because it's acknowledging what is happening right now that really is beyond your control.
Mm-hmm. And how does that empower you, or
Oh.
does it? Because I felt like you didn't use that word, but it
Empowerment.
felt like you said it puts you in a place of choice,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I heard that as empowerment.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Does it empower you?
I mean, I think it could, absolutely. In the sense that when I see what's actually going on in me, right? My whole range of experience, when I see that more clearly and then choose to allow it to be there, regardless of whether I reveal it to another person, right? Okay. Sometimes that might be great. Sometimes that might not be appropriate. But simply to reveal it to myself, just to permit it to be there, to welcome it, okay, is allowing me to be more me, to be more myself, to be more true to myself. And in that way, absolutely. I mean, what more, how could you get more power than to be more true to yourself?
Mm-hmm. It also brings this image of you don't have the complete picture unless you know the story, plus you know how you're interacting with that story.
Totally. Yeah. Like making the subjective objective. Yeah.
And for me, there's where the empowerment lies, is because you're getting more information on you.
Say more about that. I'm curious about your orientation to that.
So two people could be going through the exact same scenario and having two different reactions.
Yep.
It's probably, and there could be many reasons for that, but one reason could be your values are different, so you see the whole thing differently.
Yeah.
And for one person, the decision they want to make, the ideal decision they want to make for themselves, will be different from the ideal decision the other person wants to make for themselves. And what is defining ideal here is their values.
Yeah.
And their values are revealed in the present moment experience, are revealed once they see what they're feeling about what is happening. I feel like it's like an invitation to see who they are.
Ooh. Can I try to rephrase that and see if I'm understanding it correctly? Okay. So if two people are interacting about the same situation, their values are largely determining what the ideal decision or outcome would be for them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that those values are only accessible in the present moment. Is that what you're saying?
They're more accessible.
They're more accessible. Like to see what they are.
Yeah.
They're more accessible. Oh, that's interesting. Can you give me an example of being aware of your values in the present moment?
So an example from my life would be last year I took part in an endurance event.
Okay.
It was a Spartan. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Famous thing, and it was only for 10K.
Okay.
And I did it for the first time. And if I tune into my feelings as I was preparing for it,
okay,
I was full of energy.
Okay.
Full of energy. And that was counter to what my mind would have predicted. In my mind would have predicted that I would have been really happy once I had finished it.
Okay.
But the training would just be whatever. The training would be like chores.
Okay.
And when I saw how excited I would get and how energized I would get day after day after day training it, I realized that this was more important to me than the actual race.
Oh, okay.
That the regime and the discipline and the thought and the planning, that was so much more exciting for me than the actual end result.
Okay.
And that revealed to me that process matters more to me than outcome.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And I would not have, I feel like because I was tuning into how I was feeling, that became apparent to me.
Gotcha. Okay. So what I hear you saying is that in order to accurately assess our values and where our values come from, it's required to be able to access a sense of internal presence and internal mechanics of what's behind the scenes of those values.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to like kind of be like really split that hair.
No, I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, but that because value structures and morality, because they're so intertwined with meaning and kind of cultural upbringing and the groups that we associate with, which is kind of what you were saying in terms of two people can have totally two different value systems, and where those value systems are coming from kind of has all of this history. And in order to unpack that, the present moment is absolutely a valuable tool to kind of see like, yeah, why is this exciting to me? Why is this meaning? Why does this like bring up this positive or this enjoyable, pleasant sensation? And then from that, we start saying, oh, well, maybe this is what I consider like, you know, good. Right. And then good can kind of become all kinds of different values.
Yeah.
Right. Strong is typically a good value.
Yeah.
Right.
It almost feels to me that it helps to reveal the true self.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Well said. So I have my like editor brain coming online and wanting to know whether we have deviated too far from the initial question of what it means to reveal oneself.
I feel like we have deviated too far.
Too far.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know about too far, but we have deviated.
We have deviated
from what it means to reveal your present moment experience. And I'm wondering, when you hear the phrase revealing my present moment experience, what comes up for you?
What comes up for me right now is that I kind of feel a tension in my belly. And I kind of just want to like play around with this and reveal what's happening.
What's that tension about?
I think it's just kind of like how I'm sitting. But I don't know. When you ask me that, I want to back up and just like not answer it. That was a pretty big reveal for me.
Hearing about the tension in your belly, I noticed just being tense in my whole body, and just worrying about having sidetracked the entire conversation. Yeah.
Hearing you say that, I totally feel like it was the perfect conversation.